know me, SDMT. Big news right here, man. Antonio Brown has been going crazy on social media, man. He's been trolling, and I gotta ask the question, is AB the next T.O.? You know what I mean? And we know how T.O. ended up being a problem on certain teams he went to, and he would split the locker room in half, and the teams felt the best thing to do was get him off their team. And he was actually very talented at the end of his career, but a lot of teams didn't want to deal with the extra stuff. You know what I mean? Terrell Owens, he called out his quarterback in Jeff Garcia. He had problems with Jeff Garcia. And then, he got out of there. And then he had problems with Donovan McNabb, called him out in the Super Bowl, throwing up in the huddle and pretty much hinting that he choked in that game. And then, it was the whole trade thing where he's working out in his parking lot and they had all the cameras watching him. And that's one crazy thing. You have to imagine if T.O. was around this big social media boom, how huge it would be. You know what I mean? It'd be so much more attention. Like, it was a ton of attention on T.O. back in the day, but social media wasn't as big as it was. Instagram wasn't that big. Facebook, it was around, but it wasn't as big as it is now. So, this would amplifies a lot of this diva behavior when you look at somebody like Antonio Brown. Like, I know what Antonio Brown is doing. He's a fan of 6ix9ine. I can tell he's trolling, and he just posts about his YouTube. He has a podcast, and with all this trolling brings a lot of attention, and all that attention brings a lot of money, and a lot of helps your business and end. So people are getting a lot of eyes on his YouTube. That's going to help his views. His podcast is going to get more views as well because he's trolling. You know what I mean? So we have to look at this. We have to look at, can AB have a T.O. effect on locker rooms? What he's done with the Steelers locker room. You know what I mean? They're pretty exhausted dealing with them. He's not even there anymore, and he's causing problems. With Juju and calling out Big Ben, and had a lot of other players calling out Big Ben about his leadership. So he opened the door for a lot of that, for him to be questioned recently about his leadership. So when we look at it, we got to look at the Raiders. You know what I mean? They have John Gruden, they have Derek Carr. John Gruden is a solid coach. He's a hard-nosed coach, so we know what he's gonna be pretty solid. Derek Carr, he's still kind of developing. He's a solid quarterback. He's up and down, but you know what I mean. It would be really bad if AB hurt his confidence. So they have to have a good relationship. But right now, it seems like they have a great relationship, and that should be huge for them. Antonio Brown, Derek Carr, they're working out together. You know what I mean? They have a good rapport so far. But who knows if AB feels like he's not getting the ball enough, or who knows? You know what I mean? If he snaps and he starts going at the Raiders players, and I think that'd be a nightmare for Oakland. Hopefully that doesn't happen, because Terrell Owens was kind of known when he went to certain teams that it became an issue. When he was a Cowboy, he ended up having problems with Jason Witten and Tony Romo, and he had to get pushed out of there. So when we look at it, will AB have that same effect? Because these things are amplified so much more because social media is so big, man. And I get what he's doing, all the trolling, but it can also have a negative effect. Not all attention is good attention. And you can have a lot of NFL players that don't like you. They may take cheap shots at you. You might have teammates that like some of the players you're going at. You know what I mean? There has to be some Raider, players that are cool with Juju, or maybe cool with Ben Roethlisberger or whoever. So they may not vibe with what he's doing. So, I think the best thing for him to do is focus on his grind. He can market himself for his YouTube and his podcast, but a lot of the trolling stuff, it's time to sweep that under the rug. I'm pretty sure hopefully the Raiders had a talk with him, like, cut this out, get on your grind, focus on our team, let the Steelers stuff behind, because they don't want him to already be in this routine of calling out players or acting out of line. And he goes into their locker room, and let's say he doesn't mesh very well at first, and he may say something publicly that, gets that organization on his butt. So, when we look at it, AB and T.O., two different players, two different skill sets, but they both, are players that, can cause rifts in locker rooms at times based if they don't get what they want. You know what I mean? We know T.O. wanted the ball all the time. You know what I mean? Antonio Brown wants the ball all the time, and they're about their stats, and they're about catching the ball, and they want to win too, but they feel to win they need the ball a lot, and you can't blame them for that, because that's most receivers. They want the ball a lot. They want their catches, they want their yards, they want their touchdowns. If they don't get that, you may have a problem. You know what I mean? So when we look at this whole situation, hopefully Antonio Brown and Juju, they patch things up right there. He had no right to go at Juju, man. Juju's a good young man. He works hard. He's fun. He's lit. He's smiling. I've never seen Juju really go at anybody aggressively or in a negative manner. So he didn't really deserve that from Antonio Brown. You know what I mean? And him posting a DM from him asking for tips, that really doesn't make Juju look bad. It kind of makes Antonio Brown look bad as he wants to post that and, you know, put that public when that should have been between them two players. But at the end of the day, you guys, let me know what you guys think. It's AB, it's AB, the new TO. Let me know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And follow me on Instagram at SDMT619. SDMT!